Okay, welcome to another episode of Just Because Live. My name is Chris Nicolason, and I am your host today, and I'm happy to be joined by Micheal Pharis, or more appropriately, just known as Pharis, who's a great member of the Colorado Springs community. And Pharis, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And the thing I generally like to start with is having people give their background a little bit about where they come from, how they got here, and then we'll kind of pick off from there, okay?
Okay. So I've been here in Colorado Springs for 42 years. Moved in here from Michigan back during the original oil embargoes.
Oh, wow.
Love the area, love the region. It's just a great place to live.
Perfect. So where are you from originally then in Michigan?
Saginaw, Michigan, kind of up by the thumb.
Okay, gotcha. That's kind of up by the thumb. So over near Detroit-ish?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Because I'm actually from northwest Ohio. And
Okay.
so right below the border over there. So that's fascinating. So then we were talking off air, and you've been here now for over 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about kind of your experience in watching the growth of, the Springs as a whole, or the Springs community, and what you've seen?
Okay. Well, I guess I had a pretty good view of it. Came out here, got my license as an electrician. So I got to work a lot of commercial and residential and manufacturing locations, and just watching the new businesses and companies and residents come into the area. So I saw what used to be dirt roads and grassy fields turned up into be busy roadways and nice buildings.
Wow, that's fascinating. And so, like, within that time, has there been like a certain area of town that you're kind of surprised has grown or taken off as much as you've seen, or just kind of generally the whole thing itself just exploding?
Out east.
Okay, kind of that Falcon area.
Well, Falcon and just shy of Falcon. So Wolf Ranch and all the way up through Interquest, Voyager, Northgate.
Yes. I don't think you ever really expected to see like an In-N-Out sitting up there, did you?
Right.
I know, right? Right. So then tell me then too, because one of the things that I've met you at some local networking events and things like that. And, our firm and you guys, we've worked together in the past. So how do you go from electrician to nonprofits? It's kind of, can you talk about that? Because it doesn't seem like a cohesive, like, here I go from, fixing somebody's light bulb, which you told me off air that you don't do anymore, to now working in nonprofits. So can you talk to me about that for a minute?
Sure. So as an electrician, you go in and you put up a building or a plant or housing, and once that's done, they move the people and plant in. You're gone. Sometimes you're laid off for a day, a week, a month, or whatever. So I always kept busy in the community. I've always loved Colorado Springs. It was home from day one. So we just wanted to get involved and just become a part of the community.
Nice.
So we'd volunteer for various functions or events, anything from parking cars at some event to actually helping set up the catering and the tents and the lights and whatever it took.
So Pharis, can what's interesting about that is, like, generally too, after like a day's work or what have you, I mean, for me, even myself, I just want to go home and sit down and kick my feet up, right, and watch TV. But I think it takes a special person to be able to go and say, you know what, we're going to dedicate our time, because time is a precious commodity, especially as we get older. And I think it's actually a more important commodity than even money. It's that one thing we can all figure out a way to make some money, but our time is something we can't get back. So what is it about, like, serving and getting out there, and volunteering your time and doing that back then that got you going? Like, why did you do it?
Well, like you say, it was an opportunity to give back, but it was an arena to where I could ride my bike, I could run, I could walk, I could hike, I could be outdoors and enjoy doing what I like to do and still have an impact on somebody else.
Oh, that's awesome. And this was even for myself the other day, where I put a post up where my brother was in town and we went and did the incline and then took the bar trail back down, and especially being from the Midwest where it's very flat.
Right.
And then, we're just looking outside going, holy cow, this is just amazing. So I can understand that need and want just to really be outside. And so then And when you said like, we wanted to get out, so I'm gonna kind of introduce the next part of the we. So the other part of the we, my belief is your wife Ann. Is that right?
Correct. Uh-huh.
Can you talk about Ann's role within what you do then?
Sure. Well, just like you, I have an incredible wife,
Yep.
always supportive. When we set this business up, I was an electrician. I knew nothing about business, setting up businesses. So I set it up that she was 51% owner and I was 49% owner. And the goal there was to get the Husband of the Year award. Just wanted to always shine in her eyes.
Right.
But then as it turns out, we became a minority business, a woman-owned business, which is fine. It's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I'm going to assume too, it's one of those things where having, your spouse within the business with you, it can be most people look at me and they're like, how do you even work? There's no way I could ever work. I find it to be a great thing. Don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It can be really enjoyable.
We each have our own roles that we take care of, but when we come together at the end of the night, we have that common ground. And we can keep our focus on certain athletes, certain events, certain causes, and it's always in the forefront of your mind.
Oh, perfect. Good. And so then you guys started out just by volunteering, but then ultimately you guys together had formed, your own company, which is a minority-owned company. And so it's called, and let me make sure I got it right, LYMevents. Is that right?
It's Leave Your Mark Events.
Perfect.
Which turns out to be a lot to put on a business card. So we just shorten it to LYMevents.
Oh, nice. Perfect. LYME events, right?
Yes, correct. Uh-huh.
And then so transitioning then from just volunteering to actually having this event business now, what kind of what kind of change did there have to be, or hiccups did you guys see experience along the way?
Actually that was pretty smooth.
Nice.
I was working a job in Pueblo on the powerhouse.
Okay.
And I hated it. 10, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Driving back and forth, and it was just way too much. So one day, 4:30 in the morning, I'm putting on my work boots. My wife was helping me pack up my lunch, and I tell her, Ann, I can't do this much more. Excuse me. She walked over, looked me in the eye, and says, it's time to pull the plug.
Wow. Wow. So that, so talk to me too about that, kind of from like, even like because it's one thing where my wife and I went to law school later in life, and there was a lot of both fear in taking that jump, and it's because it's an unknown,
right?
So talk to me about kind of having that support of your spouse during that time on being able to take that jump.
Well, that was so huge because on those times when I had the doubts, that may have had the self-doubt, she was always there to buck me up. I said,
nice.
No, you know that. You've seen that before. You've done that before. You've had the skills. You have the talents. Keep going. And it wasn't necessarily about the money. Although we do need the money, right? But it was about achieving and building something greater than myself.
Right. Oh, man. And it's great, too, when your spouse / business partner is your biggest fan, like the person in your corner actually pulling for you. That's
absolutely
awesome. Pharis, how many years have you and your wife been married now?
Oh, gosh. Next month will be 25 years.
Nice. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that is awesome.
I married her when she was 16.
Wow.
Not really. That just...
Okay. It feels that way these days, right?
it gives her a better age.
There you go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so then talk then too. So you two then formed LYMevents, and then what kind of specific events what's kind of your niche, or what kind of events do you guys do?
Well, this year we are scaling up. Okay. We are looking to do more bicycling, more duathlons, and more distance races.
Okay.
We're still going to take care of our established clients and new clients on their 5K fundraisers and their awareness campaigns. We'll never walk away from that. But we really want to engage. We have 10 and a half years experience.
Yeah.
So why not put that to good use? Why settle for it?
Right.
Why not do more?
Nice. And you use the term scaling up. And actually, for me, one of my favorite books is by a gentleman named Vern Harnish. It's Harnish, I think, or SCH, but it's actually called Scaling Up. And it's a great book on kind of taking that leap and making that jump forward as a business and company, because a lot of that's just mindset stuff too. And it's how we, within our lives, we have those beliefs, those limiting beliefs. But then the moment we knock those walls down, it's amazing when we open ourselves up, can actually give so much more to others by scaling up and leveling up that way.
Right.
I think it can be really helpful. So then it sounds like then you guys kind of have these two focuses in that sense, right? Your community pieces with the 5Ks, the charities, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of this other section that's going to be more in this column of like scaling up, which is your ultras, your biking, your bicycling and cycling and things like that. Is that right?
Well, everything we do has a nonprofit or charity attached to it.
Okay.
And we live here. We support here.
Right.
There are so many organizations that are worthy. They need help. They need assistance. I mean, we can't do it all, but we can make an impact somehow.
Yeah. So then what, can you kind of talk about a couple of your key events from the past for anybody out there that's never actually heard of LYMevents, but maybe through town, they've actually seen you guys and they just didn't realize it. So what are some of your like key events that people might recognize?
Well, another one coming up here end of April is the Cheyenne Mountain Trail Race.
Okay.
So I have another partner on that, Tim Berkston. And it's a race set up to where the nonprofit charity is Achilles Pikes Peak.
Okay.
Achilles Pikes Peak is an organization of accomplished athletes coming back, giving back to people with disabilities to help them get outdoors.
Yeah.
Either ride, to hike, to walk, to run. So we put on this event. We cover expenses and then pretty much give most money away to Achilles.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. That is awesome. So the Cheyenne Mountain Trail Race. Okay. And then for me, one of the ways too that we met, which this one's way down the road, but is the Santa Run, right?
All right. Uh-huh.
Can you kind of talk about, and this is one where I'm like, I know even if I wasn't a part of it and knew of you, I know I've seen it around because in this one, people dress up as Santa Claus.
Right.
Yeah. So it's that one I find to be like, it's a blast for kids and families and just the entire community, I think.
I saw that advertised early on, like the first year out in Vegas. They have a big, the Great Santa Run.
Okay.
Of course, Vegas being Vegas, their numbers are like 8, 10, 12, 14,000. And they compete with other countries. Well, I went out there and volunteered for a couple of days. And man, I thought that was the greatest thing ever. So we took their idea, brought it back here, and we just call it the Chasing Santa 5K.
Yep. Okay.
And again, like you mentioned, instead of a T-shirt, a race day T-shirt, everyone gets pants, jacket, belt, hat, and a beard.
Yep.
And we have sizes from toddler to 3X.
Nice.
So we can bring with the whole family. We have little 2-year-olds in strollers being pushed by mom and dad.
Yep.
And then as it grew, another friend of ours who was very instrumental in our growth early on was Tori Giffen with the Buffalo Lodge Bicycle Resort.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So we added another leg to that, and we call it the Cycling Santa.
Oh, fun.
Well, we send the bicyclists off, and again, they wear the Santa suits. They're on Cascade bike lanes, down Colorado Avenue, all the way up to Tori's place up there, just shy of Manitou. She gives them waffles, and then they come back, and we all congregate after the race and just do fun stuff, prize drawings.
Oh, that is awesome.
But then
keep on.
Oh, I get excited about what I do.
Oh, I love it.
So we also turn that into a toy drive. So we charge participants to come in. We give them a Santa suit, and then we ask them to bring in an unwrapped toy.
Okay. And
then all the toys stay here locally. Nice. There's a lot of need. So we try to help where we can to fill the need.
Perfect. So Pharis, then obviously there's I know, owning my own business, that to have anything, run, you need a team around you.
Mm-hmm.
You need people. It's not just, I'm going to guess it's not just you and Ann out there pounding the pavement every single day, kind of. Can you talk a little bit about, your team and how you try to go about, and because in order to spread your message and do what you're doing, I'm going to guess that you have a pretty good group of people around you that kind of believe in the cause.
Absolutely. So 98% of our crew are female.
Wow.
And every once in a while, they remind me that if you want to get something done right, let a woman do it. Right. So I'm fine with that. It's just it's great relationships.
Yes.
When we don't have an event or something going on, I go out and volunteer in the community and other events. And so as I'm doing my thing volunteering, I watch the other volunteers to see, are they focused on what they're doing? Are they there just for the t-shirt? Are they able to make decisions on their own and keep things going?
Yep.
Well, I find key personnel there. I go up and approach them, talk to them, ask them if they want to have a coffee, get together, have a coffee, and tell them, hey, you'll be doing the same thing you did today, except you get paid for it.
Nice.
So they understand the concept of what it is we do.
Right. Yeah, and you mentioned two things on there. So one is the 98% female. Number two is the coffee, but I want to touch on each of those real quick. So the idea of 98% female, I recently watched or rewatched the movie, I think it was McFarland, Texas, with Kevin Costner, where he's got the cross-country runners.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a great scene in there, and this is my daughter, her husband is Latino, and his mom she's a boss. And so just like in that movie, when it's time for the daughter's quinceañera, so Kevin Costner's like, he gets him and the two other guys just sitting around. He's like, I don't know, guys, where do we start? And the two guys just start laughing at him and looking at him going, you just got to get out of the way, man. And then here comes this group of ladies and just like powerhouse is just coming in and like literally like in seconds, they're like, you over here, you do this. And they got it moving. So I completely agree with you on that. And then on the coffee side, it's interesting too, because you and I have met in those networking groups where, there is so much to be said about two people getting together, to have a cup of coffee and just sit down and talk.
Right.
And, I think in this day and age, whenever it's so easy just to be on your phone or doing things like that, that you can just sit back, be present, and actually just talk and get to know people. And that's such a great way to actually find great people to work with, and on your team, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, the phone and the computer are all great aids, but you can never feel emotion through your phone.
Right. Absolutely.
It's when you're sitting there face to face.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. So then now you've got your, we've got those, kind of specific events. You've got a great team of people working with you and that are really out there pushing the message. So I want to shift now to your more recent, one of your upcoming events, because I really want to kind of talk about that for a little bit and why it's special for you. So it's called the Walk, Run, or Roll for Daniel. Can you talk about that a little bit for us?
Sure. So early on, I think year one or maybe year 1.5 or whatever, again, out there volunteering when we didn't have anything going on. I volunteered for the Patriots Festival through Chick-fil-A, and it was produced by Tori Giffen. So I show up at 3 o'clock in the morning and leave at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm her favorite volunteer instantly, right? Yep. So we built a nice relationship and rapport, got to know her family, just a great family, great family. And I watched the kids grow up. So 4 years ago, it's good stuff.
It's okay.
4 years ago, Daniel rode his unicycle to the top of Pikes Peak.
Wow.
A unicycle at age 11.
Wow.
So a short time later, they discovered brain tumors. So that was pretty devastating for everybody. I mean, especially me. I watched the little boy grow up, right? So I couldn't save him. I couldn't pay off the medical bills, but I could. I could produce it. Sorry.
You're okay.
It's 11 years, and I still get fired up. So I could use my gifts and talents to help the family, help them with incidental money, like traveling back and forth to Denver,
Yeah.
overnight stays, wear and tear in the car, meals on the road, whatever.
Yeah.
So we put this together. It was 4 years ago because we had to skip COVID, not by choice, but that's just kind of the way it went. So this is year 3, March 26th.
Okay.
Well, it's about 10 days out now, I guess. So it's the walk, run, and roll for Daniel. We have vendor booths out there, local businesses. We have the bicycle ride taking off. It's a 15-mile ride at 9 o'clock. And again, they head down the Cascade bike lanes, Colorado Avenue, up to the Buffalo Lodge Bicycle Resort. And again, Tori feeds them waffles and hot chocolate. Then they come back and then we have the 5K walk run take off at 10 o'clock.
Nice.
So the goal is to have everyone back at the same time.
Perfect.
And we do a little celebration. We have some prize giveaways. We have some drawings. We use that time to really collect more money for the cause.
Right. Absolutely.
So Tori is so right on and so good. So we cover expenses, then we write her a check. So what she does is she takes half of that check and she donates it off to the Children's Hospital.
Oh, man. Wow.
So the reach is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pharis, if you're somebody in the community that wants to get involved, what are things that, and I've got the website down at the bottom, which is walkrunnerrollfordaniel.com. Yeah. But what are some ways then too that people, if you're a business or if you're an individual, can get involved and help with that?
Oh, give me a call.
Okay.
719-306-2330.
Perfect. And I'm going to put that in the comments here real quick. Let me get that from you.
Sure. Or email.
Pharis, what's your phone number then?
719-306-2330.
And a good email?
And Pharis, Pharis, at LYMevents, EVENTS.com.
Perfect. I've got those in our comments as well. And so, and is this an event too? So the walk, run, or roll for Daniel, is this an event too where a family can do it, or even from a business standpoint where like you could put a team or a group together to go and do it as well as a group?
Absolutely. We don't have team pricing on this,
right.
But if you want to bring in a team looking for a discount, you reach out and I'll make it happen. That's the nice thing about owning the business, right?
Yes.
A lot of individuals, we try to hold the cost down, right? Just so we can raise more funds for the cause.
Yeah.
But it's by far it's a fun event.
Good. Pharis, and not many times I feel like it's one of those, what was it, back on the ESPN show, they used to have one interviewer where every time they'd be like, "You're not going to make me cry, Roy." I almost feel like this with you, Pharis, is you're not going to make me cry, Pharis. But you have this magic about you, and I don't know if this is a teachable thing or not, but there's a kindness within you that I'm seeing. And I've talked to some food industry people that show their care that they have with what they do day in and day out. And I think it's an inherent thing. But if you're talking to somebody that is, looking to get out there, wanting to volunteer and kind of just afraid to make that, jump because they're a little nervous about, am I going to make a fool of myself? I don't know what to expect, things like that. What would your advice be for them?
To volunteer in the arena or
anywhere at all? Anywhere at all.
Oh, anywhere at all. There's so many great organizations out here looking for help, whether it be for the weekend, for a weeknight, or to work on their website, whatever the case may be. If your heart leads you to give back, do it.
Yeah.
That's your greatest reward, is following your heart.
Nice. I absolutely love it. And, so Pharis, generally too, and we're getting close to our end time here. I wrap up with a couple questions for you. I do have to say that within the time I've done this show now, and you're probably approaching close to interviewee 20 or so. And I haven't met somebody yet that's, definitely been as community driven as yourself. And I think you bleed it and you show it. There's a genuineness to you. And I appreciate having somebody like you in this community. It's an unseen thing, but I think we need more Pharis in our lives. And that's, I'll just leave that at that. I'm not being paid or endorsed by Pharis to say this. So but no, I think there's a kindness, Pharis, that I really appreciate about you. And so the two questions that I generally end with, the first one is going to be, I think I already know the answer to this one though, is Pharis, if you were not doing this for your career, and you could go back to like that thing you always wanted to be as a kid, or that dream job, what would it be?
This is it.
Yeah, I figured.
This started back at age 8.
Really?
It's a long drawn out story, but
okay.
Age 8 is at a wrestling match with my father.
Okay.
We were talking about people, and he's mentioned promoter.
Yeah.
No idea what a promoter was at age 8.
Oh my gosh.
When he explained that to me, I thought, that's what I want to do.
Wow.
So it took a while to get here, but that's what I'm doing.
So you're like a softer version of like Bobby the Brain Heenan or something, or like or Vince McMahon or something like that.
All right.
There we go. Oh my goodness, that is awesome. That is very, very cool. Okay, so my next one, and I have not talked to you about this, is what is your favorite place in Colorado? It can be anything from a restaurant to a trail to anywhere that you pick. What is your favorite spot in Colorado?
Oh gosh. My favorite spot in Colorado is it's anywhere I am with my wife.
Oh, Pharis. Woo! Thank you for the high standard today. Yeah, we're going to have to show this one to Ann too. So I love it.
Then the other favorite spot is Fort Collins with my grandchildren.
Oh, nice.
My daughter, yeah.
How many grandchildren do you have? 4 up there. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's great. Cool. That's very cool. Yeah, we're big fans of Fort Collins. Gretchen and I have been up there. We were up there a few weeks ago and went to a nice farmer's market, things like that. Pharis, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sharing your story and your message. I'm glad and grateful we did not get to get into this, but that you guys definitely have seemed like you've not only survived COVID, but are looking at it with brighter glasses, kind of coming out of it and a bigger vision. So any way that we can help you all, just definitely feel, reach out to us as well in the community. And if you're a member of the community watching this, definitely please reach out to Pharis, follow him on social, follow LYMevents on social, and check out the walk, run, or roll for Daniel.com if you could.
Well, if I may add one thing.
Absolutely.
So this is year 11, coming out of electrician background, college education on running the business, it was just all desire. But the other thing was we surrounded ourselves with key people. And early on, you and Gretchen were there.
Yeah, thank you.
So our success is yours.
Thank you so much. Pharis, you're going to give me that. So thank you all very much. Pharis, we appreciate you coming on, and we look forward and hope everybody enjoyed this show. And we will see you all on our next episode of Just Because Live. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
And